I think if you can hear me, and I gotta check the video and the audio, see if it's clear. These videos that I put out, that was my mistake. I think it was because it was copyright or something happened with the sound or the audio, the copyright or something. I think it was. It took all the sound off, so I'm gonna make some of these points, but it ain't gonna be the same points because you didn't hear my first points, right? So shout out to JJ Starwin for hitting the Cash App and motivating me from coming back. Well, not really motivated me from coming back, but kind of wanted to hear my thoughts. So I'm gonna give a little quick rundown of where I've been at. Basically, I took a break from red pill stuff, content, talking about everything because I wanted to enjoy my life, enjoy certain things, and actually look at content from a perspective of a viewer and a commenter, right? I wanted to see if people would have the same type of thought that I had when it came down to stuff, right? And it seemed like they didn't. You're gonna see I've been talking about this kind of stuff that's been happening for many years. All the videos that I put out has basically come to this point. You can rewatch all of the videos that I have right here that I talked about pieces and pieces and pieces of what we're dealing with right now. All of this is culminated of the stuff that happening now, other than these things right here. Now, y'all remember that these are the same people who told you that you have to vet women, alright? These are the same people who told you that you can't talk politics. These are the same people who told you that you had to drop your standards. You had to get certain women. This T-Page shit exposed a lot of the women on that page that was literally lying on guys, saying just random shit on guys. It found out that a lot of them was not really attractive. So the type of women that they was telling us to go date, which I was right about all these many years on saying, I said this, don't be stuck with their options. I said it before. I said it about how they wanted you to date the women to end up with a lot of shit that they end up messing up. So all these women, the T-Page app was just like another bunch of apps. But I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna get to a lot of different things. So remember your boy ARC, right? Remember your boy ARC. When he was alive, he was the guy who just made everybody sit back and listen. He was the so-called crazy uncle or, cool uncle, as another content creator said, right? All the while, his books wasn't selling. He took on a wife that was Dipsy, and in the end, she defiled his legacy, right? She put her OnlyFans and her content, adult content, on his Patreon, and thought that it was a good move to do something like that, to sell his fans her feet pictures and her stuff, because that's what Roger and Alan Curry actually thought of you guys. Is the Roger and Alan Curry stands. His wife literally tried to sell you on her. That means he was talking shit about his own people, his own fans while he was alive. That he can sell them anything. And Roger and Ella Curry is one of the contributors to the reason why these women feel like they can go and do anything they want. Right? This is what we've been fighting and what we've been telling the other side for a long time. We've been telling them that you can't trust these women. We've been telling that they lie on men. We've been telling that they just make shit up. But they called us lame, losers, weirdos. And now a lot of these guys are dealing with the consequences of having sex with women they should have never had sex with in the first place. They should have had this discipline. These are the women they was telling us to go fuck. These are the women who was telling us that they have a great personality, they was rich, and it was this. Those women were very unattractive. I seen the leaks. This ain't the only page. Mind you, let me tell you about a number of pages that's out there that women made. There's pedophile pages for female pedophiles to pick which boy they're going to corrupt next. They laugh at the fact that they can get any boy they want. And they pick certain men's kids to corrupt. And they also say that they know that the laws ain't going to do nothing to them because they're women. They said it's in groups. These are groups that was out here. There's groups out here that's female pedophiles, and the FBI not doing a goddamn thing about it. But hey, mind you, these are the same people who said that men are creeps and weirdos, right? One thing that I never heard people say is women can be weirdos and creeps as well. Or socially awkward. We never hear that shit on one side. This is what happens when you let women run amok in society and be protected by everything. Now let's go along. This is Roger and Ellen Curry's widow, OnlyFans. So his books wasn't making shit. He was running his mouth while he was alive. And all these people in the black, some guys in the black manosphere listened to this dude like he was speaking gospel. But his wife ended up poor on OnlyFans. Where DJ Kuda at now? Where Reg the bad guy at? Where all these people at that was Mold 1? Mind you, no one gives a fuck about Roger and Ellen Curry. Like I said, a conversation that me and him had when he was alive. I said, dude, if you die, nobody gonna care about you, but they still gonna care about Elliot Rogers. I was right. People talk more about Kevin Samuels than they do Roger and Ellen Curry. He's an afterthought. But his wife out here pimping herself to his fan base. The so-called fan base is supposed to be good with women. Alright? Your boy Roger and Ellen Curry was a sham. He was a farce. He is only one of the guys who contribute to this bullshit that we're dealing with right now. Huh? So, there are groups out here that attends to make men take their own lives, and the women come back. The girlfriends or the wives make men come back. They come together in a group and talk about how much of a rush it was to push a man to taking his own life. Nobody exposed it. I only exposed it because I found out about it. I found out about it a couple years ago. It's gone now because two women got deleted. Two women got dirt napped and the guys that they forced them to do deleted themselves and deleted the two women. There was women out there pushing men to take their own lives, and then coming back to this with this group of women and saying, hey, it's cool it feels good to make a man do this. It feels good. These are good guys too. And they're just picking at them. There's groups out here, that was Facebook groups that Babatunde Umara put out there too, of abusing men. They will go back and say how much stuff they did to a man, and how much they, how much they push a man, they broke his stuff and did like this, and they all laughed about it. There's groups that all about putting other men's kids on a man, and talk about how the fact is that this guy has no idea that this kid ain't his. There's a lot of sick ass groups out here and the sick ass websites out here that nobody takes down. Nobody's taking down these websites. But the fact is, they take down Red Pill, they do all this. You have to understand that women have a list of organizations for themselves. They also get funded by the government. Right? Billions and billions of dollars, even trillions of dollars, is given to women, is given to protect women, because they're women. Right? Let's stop with the pretending and the acting. They didn't want us to go overseas because they wanted us to be wrecked by these women. They wanted us to be destroyed by these people. They wanted us to have to be the emotional punching bag that these women take their anger out on. They were the guys that wanted to benefit from the sex, all these other different stuffs that they can do. And then eventually, they wanted to throw you, me, or anybody else that they deemed below them to these women. Dick don't make these women heal. Even a whole bunch of money don't make these women heal. These women are out of control. There's no rules and regulations. There's no balance in America in the dating scene right now. There's nothing. That's the reason why this T-page happened. That's why this stuff happened. And 4chan, I mean, I don't like them and all, but shout out to them for going after these people. I mean, they can go after a couple other things, but that shout out to them from going and hacking in there and finding out who all these women lying. Because the fact is that it should be easy if you have access to 10 or 15 men. I'm going to tell you this right now. Every woman in this country has, except certain women, even disabled women, have access to 5 different men at any time they want. Men only have access to 1 if they're lucky. The top 10 guys have access to the top 1% guys have access to at least 10 types of women, different types of women. The average guy have access to 2 women. The below guys have access just to 1. The average guy would be lucky to have 3 women, at least have access to, chose to have 3 women. A lot of these dudes have to go far and beyond. Guess what? Nobody tells an overweight woman she need to go to the gym to get a man. Nobody tells a woman with nobody tells any unattractive woman that they need to have a personality, be funny, and all this. We still going off based off 19 something rules. Men still dating, what, in the 1900s? Mind you, feminism in America has been established, I think, for 117 years. And they still have men doing the same shit or behilding by the same rules for decades. Women don't go up to men. Women don't they don't go up to men. They don't have any type of inkling to respect you. Have you noticed in relationships dynamics in America, it's always the woman, it's always the man is lucky to have the woman, but it's never the other way around. This is one of the reasons why I looked at this situation. I said, hey, the only way I'm probably possibly going to be in relationships or marriage or something is if I go overseas. If I stay here, it'll just be about money and myself. And if I do something, anything like that, I have to. It'll be really, really, really hard to do it here. But this is what happened. This is what we've been telling people for years. The super slides, the game dudes, all these fucking idiots. Let this shit get to a point where women have now websites to dox guys and automatically lie. We said this shit before. None of these idiots are talking about this. Everybody who was talking shit about red pill, all that, and we turn out to be right. So let's see the creator and what he said about this. So he made this website, which his name is Sean Cook. He's a software engineer, and he did it because his mom had negative experience dating online, including being catfished and interacting with individuals with criminal records. Oh, wow. But I bet you if a woman had a past, mind you, if a man has a past, he's still a bad guy. If a woman has a past, she changed and she's different. Right? Women having past don't matter. You still have to mess with her because she's different. But this simp created a whole website for women to lie. And this website been up for ever since 2022. So they've been doing this shit for a long time. Until these certain spiteful women decided to up the ante and start lying on guys. And then somebody did something about it. This is insane right now, right? So I want you to understand that you have to start doing things. You have to create your own system and your own vetting system and your own test for different people. I don't like the new age that we're in, but I say this right now, you're going to have audio recording if you feel somebody is sketchy towards you, friends, family, anybody, so nobody can lie and say anything out of the ordinary. You need cameras in your house so you can document shit. This is way too much to deal with people who have power. They're out of power. JJ Starwin, like I said, shout out to him, the reason why I made this video. He asked me and told me, hope this don't go overseas. And I'm going to show you. The men overseas, they react fast. They react super fast. They won't let this happen to them. Bodies hit floors when certain things happen overseas. Women overseas have a more family structure overseas. The women don't care about men over here, because if they did, they'd be beating the shit out of women who's lying on the men in their family. Mind you, you don't hear women over here say that they will beat a female's ass for trying to throw the kids that's not theirs on their family member. You don't hear women over here say they're gonna beat the shit out of a woman for cheating on one of their family members like they do overseas. You don't hear over here of women hunting down other women, beating the shit out of them for lying on guys and running them motherfuckers out of town. You don't hear it. You don't see it because a lot of them don't give a fuck about men. They don't care. Men are just a utility to use, right? So the anti-red pill guys who've been talking a whole bunch of shit, they don't exist in Mexico, Brazil, Russia, China, Japan. You know why? Because it's consequences. This YouTuber right here said some very fucked up shit about some cartel guy. Well, the cartel guy sent his hit squad after them and shot him 15, 16 times. See, there's consequences to misinformation overseas. This ain't the only example. There's examples of guys lying on religions and they finding them on their podcast and running in the podcast and shooting them up. There's a lot of consequences overseas because people are not allowed to just talk and then disappear in the sunset. No, they're made examples of for talking shit, like the situation that happened with 3-4 months ago, where a dude in Las Vegas shot another dude and his wife because they was having an online beef with each other. It's soaked blood in the ground. I call it the blood of consequences. Overseas,
battery level is 50%.
You deal with the blood of consequences. The consequences happen. It happens a lot overseas, and I'm gonna show you a whole many different examples overseas. All right, the rules are very different overseas than it is over here. This is what happens. The T pages and all these different places and all these different things happen right now. It only happens because, well, the pussy slaves did it. The men who told you to go fuck these women did it. These are the ugly women that she was giving sex to, telling men to give sex to. These are the women that niggas was telling to fuck and stop and lower their standards. These are the women that guys told to just have sex with and lower your standards. These are the groups of women that people told to sleep with. It wasn't me, it wasn't you, it wasn't Red Pill, it wasn't anything like that. It was them. This was going to be the result. The end result. When you say that, let women be women, let them do whatever they want, let them say whatever they want, just be on your purpose, and then the women will come. Just do this. What are you talking about? Even a guy is within the vicinity of working around these people will end up getting hit with a social stray. No one is really safe. Even if you around some of them, this is one of the reasons why these guys told you that you needed to go outside. Because they wanted to destroy your life. Mind you, these are the same people who told you that that you have nothing that nobody want to take. No. These women, they want to take your life. I just told you that these women created a group to push men to taking their own lives. These women created groups and backdoor groups to go after men's children, male children. They actually have groups to push men to get men locked up, to punch them and beat them up so they can lock them up. These women are so hateful, they looking for villains. And all the while, these motherfuckers tell you to don't talk about them. These women coming out with different plans to fuck with you. To throw eggs in your face and then don't expect you to slap the shit out of them. This is what the T page was about. This is what the T page is about. The T page right now is basically about a bunch of women who would never get consequences because guess what? They're always going to be protected by somebody, especially in this country. But overseas, there's none of these protections for them. Now, mind you, remember when passport bros was a thing in the pandemic? Remember when everybody was making fun of passport bros, saying that you have to go overseas and laughing at you and stuff? Now they got TV shows of women going overseas. And none of these people talk about it. They created shows based off the fact that these women complain. And also you have quote unquote passport sisters now that nobody's talking about. I told you that eventually these women will get the bright idea to just keep pushing the envelope until they make sure that every man is a slave. The whole point right now. Oh my bad. I wanted to tell you there's groups out there because I was gonna make video about this, but I do it in this video, compacted in this video. There's groups out that trying to force men to be gay. I mean, to be bisexual. I just said bisexual. A lot of these women who are friends with LGBTQ guys, the LGBTQ guy will point out a guy that they think is cute. And mind you, this guy might not be the best looking guy, but the beautiful woman will approach the guy and tell the guy that if he lets this LGBTQ guy suck him off, he gets to have sex with her multiple times. And then it keeps up in the ante. There was groups out here of LGBTQs talking about they want to turn straight men since real women don't give them no play. And they said all types of crazy things about how they be trying to they try to spend as much money to look like the prettiest girl so they can turn out straight men in order to get more men to join the LGBTQ. Their whole thing was to tell women not to be with men so men can be with other men. That was their plan. That's why they was promoting this LGBTQ community stuff. Also, they have some alternative plans to siphon money from men no matter what. You cannot be... If they find out that you have a good job, 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to get you fired. And they have fun the fact that they got you fired for absolutely no reason. They also have fun the fact is they can make up any rumor possible and everyone will believe it. And if you take your own life, they're going to get off on it. There's even women in groups and in little secret groups who said they played with themselves if they knew a guy took his own life because of them. There's a lot of shit going on. And that's the reason why the 4chan people hack their shit and fuck their shit up. There's a reason why that happened. Because they know what I knew. I seen it. I seen the text messages. I seen these people, the audio recordings, even some of the voicemails they was sending each other. They did a lot of they do a lot of shit behind the scenes. But for some reason you can't talk about them. You got to stop talking about them and let them fuck you over. There's a lot of women out here who uses their little thug, they dick thugs, they attack dogs, they fucking tag the fucker. How can I call it? Their bestiality guy. They bestialities. These women fuck their attack dogs. The guys they use to beat people up. They get off on the fact that they can send a guy to beat another guy up. And then they fuck the guy. And then they offer the guy only sex. And just to beat up somebody. They don't pay him, but they just give them sex. A lot of women don't like the guys they fucking like that. But they do it to keep guys isolated. So these guys don't get sex. So they have to go to trans or a gay guy. Why do you think they always try to say that you're gay and I'm gay and we gay, or try to say that we like little apples? Why do you think they always use the insults like that? Because that's their plan. They saying it. Never. You always gotta understand when you're talking to certain people. You gotta see how comfortable they are using certain insults towards certain people, and how uncomfortable they are using insults to the other one. And then you have to find out if they see flaws in their people on their own side, or they see flaws in other people. You can't be friends with these people. It's hard to make friends in today's society because we're in the show and tell generation. We're in the show and tell generation. We're in the show and tell generation. And everybody has a story to tell about somebody else's. There's a lot of people that can dish it, but they can't take it. You remember the beauty pageant girl who took a dip and jumped out her high-rise building? Well, there's videos of her just demeaning guys, calling them creeps and weirdos and all this other shit, and then overly accomplish herself. And then the fact is, when the feminist dream didn't come true for her, well, she took a header and jumped. She took a header and jumped. She took a header and jumped off that building. Isn't it funny now that a lot of these influencers are taking their lives? See, the difference between in America and over here is that it's imbalanced. If a woman eats a cake at a restaurant, her story is being published in one of these little tabloids. If a man do one thing wrong, he's considered evil and he should be watched out. He's toxic. Men don't get second chances in this society. Women get 1,000 chances in this society. That's the truth. Men don't get one chance at all. A guy do something bad 15, 20 years ago, and he said the wrong thing, they'll bring it back up. But a woman does something wrong and she can say whatever she wants. This is one of the things that a lot of us was trying to tell everybody. If you stay here, you're going to have to deal with all this bullshit that these people will come up with. This is it. We're in this time period where they will make anything and everything up in order to feel good about themselves, to make you the villain. It's all about making you the villain and them always being the good guy. And then you got the guys, the enforcers, who will talk about you, the Reg the bad guys, the super slides, all these different guys, the digital uncut underground, whatever the guy name is. A lot of people. There's one of the reasons why a lot of people bounced out the manosphere and stopped hanging around certain guys that they were so called cool with online. There's a reason why. Because they start seeing a lot of shit that these guys were saying and doing, and it didn't make sense why they were saying and doing these things. And they was going after one group of people, but they wasn't going after the other group of people. Right? At some point, you got to ask yourself, at one point, you have to ask yourself, when will it get balanced? Because there's people out here who tell you ignore all of this. Go into the richest neighborhood and you know, make a lot of money and do this and do that, and it's still there. I mean, some of these content creators exposed that their marriage wasn't all good in the first place. I mean, they had unattractive wives and they're flossing their money online, but they gotta be in groups talking down to people. So let me show you how other cultures function, and they never let I think I'm hearing something. Okay. I'm gonna show you that other cultures, you'll never see it, right? You know that what's his name? The football player, Sharp, or whatever his name is, the ex-football player who got out of 25 million because he dealt with the wrong white girl, right? But mind you, there's NFL teams NFL owners that own the team dating the cheerleaders, and they don't get Me Too'd. Leonardo DiCaprio dating young girls, he don't get Me Too'd. There's guys out here that never get Me Too'd. You know why? Because the first thing they buy is a judge and politicians and political power. They don't think that they're just that cool nigga, or their dick is big enough that a woman won't turn on them. That's the nigga thing. That's the nigga thinking. That's the inward thinking, right? Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp. A lot of these guys have this mentality of, I'm just that nigga. Women won't turn on me. My penis is big enough to please every woman, and then they looking stupid. Gucci third leg, anyone? Remember that Gucci third leg dude? Remember the situation with Gucci third leg? And then when the shit caught up to her, when everybody knew what she had, she decided to drop the bomb. She was never gonna drop the bomb if it wasn't gonna affect her. Gucci third leg had sex with thousands of women, and he was spreading that shit around. But you're telling us to go out with these same people? If you look at that T page, and the type of women that's on the T page, they don't look like the top tier girls. but they're dating the same percent of guys. They're being ran through and shared because the top guys are telling you to date the women that they use on their off days. Right? They just didn't want us to go anywhere. They wanted us to stay here so they can bang your wife or your girlfriend when you take on these chicks, so they can feel good about themselves. Right? And I said, I made a video about that as well. So, this chick right here, she ended up going to Dubai, Russian chick, and she said something wrong or did something wrong. They dumped her on the side of the road, and I think they broke her spine and threw her out. Roadside with a broken spine. They threw her out. This is what she looks like now. She went to Dubai, trying to swing her hands around, trying to dictate the price, and they beat her ass. How many people you think gonna get exposed in Dubai? Do you think that they will be able to do the things they did to P. Diddy or Shannon Sharp over in Dubai? Oh, they won't? Oh, that's crazy. So, a few months ago, there was an influencer. Let me see. There was an influencer who was killed on IG Live. That's her name. And she was dating a cartel guy. So she tried to use him and leave him. She thought she was in America. So the cartel dude said, well, give me back my stuff. And she said, no, you gave it to me as a gift. So he said, okay. And her friend set her up. Found her where she at. Called on the phone, did everything else. She got a gift. She had a pig right here. She had a pig. They gave it to her as a gift. And then the hitman said, I had another gift for you. Pulled out a gun. Shot her in the chest. Then shot her in the head. The phone fell. And her friend, the one who set it all up, grabbed the phone, looked at the phone, and turned off the phone. So, women don't get away with shit. If you deal with drug dealers and drug traffickers, you're stuck with those guys. No one's going to touch you. You're going to have to bounce to another guy. And it won't end pretty if you do that. You're not going to be able to run around doing whatever you think you want to do. It's not going to happen. There was an influencer that I think I had her on my other video. OnlyFans chick who thought she can talk all trash and everything else. A lot of chicks overseas don't make a lot of money in their home country. They make more money in America or other countries than they do in their own country. OnlyFans ain't big when you got prostitution. Her ex-boyfriend came in and just booty. That's what he did. And the end result of her Her tooth fell out. I mean, teeth was all out. Face messed up. And that's what happened. You can't play games with men when it comes to overseas, because a lot of men take shit to heart. That's one of the reasons why a lot of guys, it's better to go overseas, because you can take advantage of the situation, knowing the fact that a lot of the girls deal with abusive men. Why you think that Soon Lee is dating black dudes and other races than her own race of guys? Well, there's a, that's kind of a, talking point about hung men being abusive and treating women like dirt. And she didn't want to deal with that. So it is beneficial. You can benefit from the fact that a lot of these women get treated like dirt. Beauty don't matter. Over here, a woman can be the worst woman possible, do the most shit, and then dudes said they can still save her. Over here, over there in their culture, a girl die and get killed, and they'll say in the comment sections, hey, she should have never dealt with a drug dealer. She should have chose a better guy. They really quick to be like, hey, they don't protect nobody. They like, hey, you had the chance to be with somebody good. Should have chose somebody better. Somebody not in the drug business. An honest life. So, another influencer who in Brazil, she stabbed her baby dad, the guy in the picture, and he was bleeding and everything, and well, he had enough. She went online and said he abused her, and that's why she stabbed him. He came online and said, no, you treat me like trash, and this and that because you're online and she's an influencer. Well, he met up with her, and it didn't end well. He strangled her with a seatbelt and got arrested. The last video of her was stabbing him being the victim and saying, I'm gonna get my revenge. A lot of dudes overseas don't let women, not many men let women abuse them until they fight back. Over here, men get more abused than anything else. So we have this this bullshit where women over here is telling everybody how men are so bad that they get told no and then they get killed or whatever, right? Or get deleted. No, overseas is a lot worse. You say no to a guy, that could be the end of your life. Some of these women say no quietly, but some of these guys put so much energy into one girl. That's why a lot of them just don't talk to a lot of guys. They stay single and they stay alone. They just like guys over here. The environment in some of these countries is so bad that a lot of women are sexless and they're alone because they don't know who's gonna do what. That's like here. We're dealing with the same situation, just different countries. So when dudes do go overseas, they can grab a girl right away. It's like going into a grocery store, picking up something that you need, and then you picking it up. That's how easy it is, because a lot of their men really do treat them like dirt. Case in point, this pretty chick right here. She's Brazilian. Her boyfriend was in the drug business. He was a drug trafficker. That's what they call them over in Brazil, drug dealer, drug trafficker. He did something wrong to somebody, and they came after him. You know what this dude did? He left his pretty girl alone and sold her out. And he ran. They found her and they took her out. You know what people say about her death, except her family? Why did you choose a drug dealer to have kids with? Why did you pick a drug dealer? Why didn't you pick somebody good? People don't have sympathy for somebody who is a reality of a choice. There's no synthetic positivity overseas like that. There's more of a reality. Over here, it's this fake positivity, the fakeness. Oh yeah, we gonna everything. We gotta get together. We supposed to get together, guys. In another country, you supposed to choose. You got two lanes, good or bad. You can't do in between. You could be cool with somebody who in doing some crazy shit, but you have to understand that there's a limit to you hanging out with these type of dudes. There's a limit to that, and if you decide that you want to be around these guys, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of dealing with these guys, and you're gonna die. That's the thing. In Brazil, there was a guy who was selling drugs or hiding drugs in his house, his family house. None of the family members knew. People came into the house, slaughtered the whole family, including him, and left the drugs there because he was selling. He got his family killed. Guilty by association. No one gives a fuck if you friends and family. This is why you have to associate with the right people. There's no in between. There's no hanging out. Social groups, you have to. This is what I learned when I talk to people overseas. I learned it over here. I don't want to associate with different types of people because I don't know who they associate with, and I don't want their problems to get on to me. That's the reason why I'm socially selective. I don't want any of this bullshit that they dealing with come to me. See? So what you see in here is a cartel hit girl. I forgot what they call them. The Serenos or Selenos. Oh, I forgot what they call them. Not Serenos, but Selenos. It's basically the girl version of them. So if this girl was over here, would you try to holler at her? Would you try to holler at her if this girl was over here? Now you see her tactical gear. Now this chick is dead. These are pictures of her alive, and her family want her asking for money to bury her. And most people not feeling sorry because they're like, well, she worked for the cartels. She fought in against police and got killed. Who cares? So JJ Starwin and anybody else, you don't have to worry about this shit going overseas because the men are too dangerous to let women lie on them. Trust me. There was a girl who was stoned to death because she lied on the guy and Me Too'd him. I think it was in Africa or somewhere. And the family hunted her down and stoned her to death. They made her tell the truth, and they still stoned her to death. And they didn't even go to jail because the guy took his own life. It's a different time. I mean, it's a different playground when you go overseas. They don't have this feminism is overseas, but it's a different version of feminism. Don't ever let anybody say that women are the same everywhere, because they're not. Because men ain't the same everywhere. You know the reason why men ain't the same everywhere? Because there isn't no Abba and Priest. There isn't no Destiny in Mexico. There isn't no Super Sly in Mexico or in Brazil. There isn't none of these guys in Brazil. This isn't all this stuff talking shit about Red Pill. Because Red Pill is in Japan, Russia, Brazil, Mexico. They deal with their own little problems about certain women. They talk against the women who only choose the drug dealers. And they laugh at the deaths of these women. They do the same shit we do over here. Difference is nobody is out there making videos about them, groups and Vice. I remember Vice tried to go to a country and try to say that this country has the most abuse in their country. And the men told them straight away, you come over here again and we gonna end you. Or you're gonna have to come with a whole bunch of people. Don't come over here and be in our business. So, let me show you more examples of some of this stuff that some of these people are allowed to get away with over here. So, there was a girl, an OnlyFans girl, who tried to say her ex-boyfriend abused her. The guy was smart enough to understand certain optics and made a compilation of videos of her just acting crazy.
I'm gonna call you back, huh?
Now this is who your boy Super Sly wanted you to get with. An OnlyFans girl. I mean, every one of these guys' advice to you would have fucked your life up and made you take your life or end up taking her life. Now look what she says, this.
Can you come inside so we can talk? Let's talk.
I don't want to talk. I want to die. I'm pleading my case to you because I sincerely want to die. I know I can't do it myself, bro. I know I can't do it myself, so I'll make you do it. But I can't do it, bro.
She said, I can't do it by myself, but I'm going to make you do it. What the fuck did I say? Wasn't I right about this shit? Wasn't I right when I said that a lot of people want to force other people to take their lives because they don't even want to be here, but they don't want to take their lives on their own? You know we're in a chaotic world when they can create a villain out of nowhere. This is how dangerous these people really are. All of them. There's no good ones no more because they're not fighting against this shit. Didn't we learn from Jessica X coming in the manosphere and all these certain women that used to talk for the manosphere? Now they got their own little groups, or they got their own little what you call it? They got their own little hubs and stuff.
Alexandra, come on, bro. What is you doing, bro? Alexandra, this is a scene, man. What is you doing, bro?
Mind you, this is a woman that all these guys are lusting after. And mind you, these guys are dealing with this bullshit because somehow, some way, that ass though, right?
A fourth grade followed her ex to and from work a whopping 33 times in just 1 month.
My ex-girlfriend continues to stalk me and park her car next to wherever I am and follow me home every night.
Hannah Freeman.
And here's the moment the 27-year-old teacher is confronted in the parking lot of the school in Ohio where her ex works as a teacher. They want to know what she's doing there.
Are you supposed to be up here? You are? Well, we got a complaint from him that you were harassing him and stalking him.
mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Did you take some items from him last night?
Now, they want to downplay the fact that a lot of women are doing this type of shit nowadays because, well, the law doesn't really punish women now. And they give them slap on the wrist. This is a new norm out here now. You tell a girl no, she get mad and she stalks you and says some crazy shit about you and say you did something to her, and now you got to deal with that.
The cops aren't buying her story.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Freeman tried to explain herself after pleading guilty to disorderly conduct.
I regret the incident. I definitely acted out of emotion, and I will take steps necessary to move on from this incident, and you will not see me back here again.
The judge sentenced her to 18 months probation and mental health counseling, and also this.
And you will serve the first 7 days of this term of probation in our county jail.
Leading to this outburst of raw emotion.
See, this is what a lot of them are doing. Society now let them do whatever they want. So it's gonna get worse, man. And all these different guys who told you to go fuck these women and do this shit is dangerous, man. This ain't no joke no more. Either you be super smart or you have to plan every move around these type of people. Now shout out to Andrew the Show. He did a video on a woman who was scopolamine because she wanted to go have fun over in Colombia because she saw the girls, because she liked girls. And she said, pretty much the same thing that all the men say. Hey, if I'm going to have sex and I'm going to do something overseas, if I'm going to have sex and I'm going to have the kind of sex I want, I might as well go overseas and do it. But there was this chick took a L because they robbed her. No one's talking about the fact that in Colombia, the women are getting scopolamine. The gay dudes and bisexual dudes are getting scopolamine. They're scopamining each other. But for some reason it was, black men, they going overseas dying. Ha 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 ha. Nobody talked about this. Of this woman dealing with her. Watch this video, look at the title, and hear the title, and go to the original video. I forgot the original video. So, remember when I said 2 years ago, you're in a leave no woman behind society. I said that in my video before because every woman think that they're superstars. They think that they're worth $1 million. They think, I told you that the unattractive women, the women who get used for practice, the so-called women who get used for practice will fight back. And the T page was for them to fight back. Mind you, they are online more than men are. There are more women than men. So I'm going to show you the last thing about the consequences that people have to deal with overseas. When women deal with criminals, they die with the criminals. They don't get to tell a story about who they dated. They don't have this. They don't have interviews about them. They don't get to ride off in the sunset. When they do something wrong, consequences come quickly.
Eran compartidas en la plataforma de Facebook por la misma sicaria, y gracias a ello, se sabe que tenía una hija y una pareja sentimental que también estaba involucrado en el crimen organizado, y que de igual forma terminó asesinado. Siempre fiel al cártel decías, con tanto dolor que estás dejando en mi corazón, descansa en paz mi amor, siempre estarás presente, te quiero mucho, es el texto de la publicación, fechada en noviembre del 2020, en la que Frida se despedía de...
And mind you, this is her on Facebook you know, doing all this crazy stuff, you know, saying that she was dating one cartel guy, he got killed, and then she decided to do another cartel guy, and then end up in the territory of another cartel, and they caught her, interviewed her, and then cut her head off.
Su pareja sentimental. Desafortunadamente para la joven sicaria, su carrera delictiva corrió con la misma suerte que la de su pareja.
And basically, saying that she was a hit girl. She would kill guys because most men will lower their guard when they see a woman. There was a video where four people, 2 women and 2 guys, shot a police chief. It was coordinated and everything. I can't show that, but they waited. He got into the coffee house. They knew he was going to get there, and they was just being on their phones. As soon as he walked in a certain vicinity, they all pulled their guns, start shooting them. The 2 guys and a woman ran off. The one girl left to watch him crawl. She went back and started pumping more bullets in him and then ran off. It's no joke.
Pues ayer, fue capturada por integrantes del cártel del noreste, quienes antes de darle muerte, la interrogaron. En su declaración frente a una cámara, y rodeada por sus rivales, Frida confesó que llevaba apenas una semana delinquiendo para el cártel del Golfo, por una amiga que la invitó a trabajar para la organización, y además, dijo que hasta el momento no le habían pagado nada. Posteriormente, sus rivales procedieron a decapitarla.
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Oye, Mariana Domínguez,
¿Dónde gobierno de Monte los apella?
los delegados de la Policía Estatal, Alfredo Escobar Marín, quien anda en la unidad 1525 junto con la 1199 de la Policía Estatal Investigadora. También nos apoya el comandante de la Policía Ministerial, Mauro Camarillo.
¿Quién los retiene?
El cártel del Noreste.
And you hear the sound of her screaming while they're cutting her head off. See, when you look at the perspective of people overseas, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people come here, but there's also a lot of reasons why they don't want to come here. Because they see how weak some of the guys are here. Now, I'm not saying that guys should go out and do all crazy stuff, but I'm saying that if chicks do something within a reason of doing some crazy dark shit to guys, setting a guy up, there should be instant retaliation. There's women out here right now who got guys killed and nothing happened to them. They get to shuffle off. The family, the members of the family ain't doing nothing to them. It's nothing. So this is the end result of letting women run your society and giving them money, unlimited money, and letting them do and say whatever they want, and then telling the men they can't say shit. It's not like that overseas. Overseas, there's a river of bodies of pretty, beautiful women, and it keeps filling up. Over here, men have some kind of, I don't know what the fuck have. They're afraid to give consequences to pretty girls. They're afraid to send a pretty girl in jail or make her have consequences or shun her. They're afraid. I mean, the girl that I showed you, not this one, the one who was spazzing out, the OnlyFans girl, there's still guys who want to talk to her after she's spazzing out, breaking shit and doing all that. Like they're going to save her. Remember the OnlyFans girl who stabbed the guy to death in the hotel room. Remember how I told you how it went down? How, oh yeah, he might have thought that his dick was going to be able to handle the whole craziness that she was. She was one of the other. She was a OnlyFans girl who had mental illness too, but fatal. But hey, so this is what we dealing with now, right nowadays. It's not gonna stop. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. And it's up to you whether you want to deal with it or not. This happening to normal guys, below average guys, guys that are quiet, guys that don't say shit to nobody. It's happening to them too. Everybody. They're just poking at you, ready, wanting you to say one thing back. They got every little thing they want to do to you. If you say one word to them, they get somebody to fight you, and you have to either beat the guy up or the guy beats you up, and then they laugh at you for the rest of your life, or laugh at you or something. They got little groups made for certain things. Told you, man. This T-page, it's the tipping iceberg. It's something that now is finally exposed that us in the space, SYSBN, Passport Bros, everybody who was talking about the dating scene and everything else, we were right. We wasn't wrong. We were always right. We was right. And they were wrong. And the men who dealt with these women and they was having fun, they was in this pool of women, let them deal with their problems. I'm not joining their side. I'm not being around them. The only guys that I feel bad for is guys who wasn't dealing with none of these chicks. None of them. Now the guys that was dealing with these chicks, that's on you. Once you touch these girls and they do whatever they want, don't come to me crying. Because we told you don't mess with them. At all.